Good evening, you're watching the news from the Sultan of Oman television. First, the headlines. The total volume of foreign direct investment in the Sultanate exceeds 15.64 billion Omani riyals until the end of the first quarter of 2020. The death toll reaches 30 in quake hit Turkey and Greek island. And the novel coronavirus killed at least 1.19 million people since the outbreak emerged in China last December. Those are the headlines, and now for the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq sent a cable of greetings to His Excellency Abdul Al-Majid Tebboune, President of Algeria, on his country's National Day. His Majesty the Sultan also sent a similar cable to His Excellency Dr. Rodney Erie Lawrence Williams, Governor General of Antigua and Barbuda, on his country's independence anniversary. The total volume of foreign direct investment in the Sultanate exceeded 15,064 million Omani riyals until the end of the first quarter of the current year, up by 5.9% compared to the same period last year, where the preliminary results of the performance of foreign investment showed an influx of 851 million riyals. The United Kingdom ranked first in the volume of foreign direct investments, as the volume of its investment increased by the end of the first quarter of this year to more than 7,500 million Omani riyals, followed by the United States of America with nearly 1,800 million riyals. The oil and gas extraction activity acquired about 9,690 million Omani riyals of the volume of foreign investment, while the manufacturing sector exceeded 1,695 million Omani riyals. The Sultanate has advanced 11 places in the Government Readiness Index for Artificial Intelligence for the year 2020, issued by the London-based consultancy Oxford Insights in the UK. The Sultanate ranked 48th in the world in this year's index, compared to the 59th position last year. The United States of America topped the index, followed by the United Kingdom, Finland, Germany, Sweden, and Singapore. The index measures the willingness of governments to use artificial intelligence techniques to provide public services to their citizens. The number of certificates of origin for local exported products to Gulf Cooperation Council countries since the beginning of this year till the 25th of October amounted to more than 42,200 certificates submitted via the electronic portal InvestEasy. These certificates included around 2,750 certificates for agriculture products and more than 35,000 industrial certificates, in addition to more than 3,800 certificates in the mining field. The Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Investment Promotion stressed that the submission of certificates of origin for local products exported GCC countries is done through electronic portal InvestEasy in order to facilitate services for Omani investors, factories and companies to export their products and save efforts and time for local and foreign investors. Still to come on our news bulletin. The best James Bond, Sean Connery, dies at 90. Welcome back to the news from the Sultan of Oman television. Rescuers raced against the clock today to save people buried under rubble as hundreds spent a terrified night in tents after a powerful earthquake claimed 30 lives in Turkey and Greece. The 7-magnitude quake killed 26 people and injured more than 800 in Turkey after striking yesterday afternoon near the west coast town in Izmir province. Also killing 2 teenagers on their way home from school in Greece, it caused a mini tsunami on Ojanun island of Samos, and a sea surge that turned streets into rushing rivers in one Turkish coastal town. In Beyrakli, with a population of more than 3,000, hope grew that more survivors could be found. following reports in Turkish media that a mother and her 3 children were rescued some 23 hours after the disaster struck. A 53-year-old and 62-year-old were also pulled out alive hours after the quake. The latest earthquake will renew fears over when Istanbul might be hit by a big tremor after the devastating 7.4 magnitude one in 1999 in Izmit, western Turkey. Some 17,000 people died then, including 1,000 in Istanbul. This is the second powerful earthquake to hit Turkey this year, after one in the eastern city of Elazig killed more than 30 people in January. The novel coronavirus has killed at least 1.19 million people since the outbreak first emerged in China last December. At least 45.65 million cases of coronavirus have been registered. Of these, more than 30.42 million are now considered recovered. The United States is the worst affected country, with 229,710 deaths from more than 9 million cases. At least 3.6 million people have been declared recovered. After the US, the hardest hit countries are Brazil, with 159,477 deaths, India 121,641, Mexico 91,289, and the United Kingdom with 46,229 deaths. Latin America and the Caribbean overall has 400,599 deaths, and Europe recorded 276,474 deaths. Asia has reported 170,108 deaths, the Middle East 59,178, Africa 42,691, and Oceania 1,022 deaths. India has registered 48,268 new confirmed coronavirus cases in the past 24 hours, continuing a downward trend. The Health Ministry today also reported 551 additional deaths, taking total fatalities up to 121,641. The figure raises the country's total virus tally to over 8.1 million, behind only the US. Over 7.4 million people have recovered. The slowdown in daily infections has held for more than a month, with fewer than 60,000 cases for nearly 2 weeks. Some experts say the trend suggests the virus may have finally reached a plateau in India, but others question the testing methods and warn a major festival due in a few weeks, and the winter season could result in a new surge. The capital of New Delhi, which recently became the worst hit city in India, is already witnessing high air pollution levels, making the coronavirus fight more complicated in months ahead. Scottish actor Sean Connery, considered by many to have been the best James Bond, has died aged 90. Producers Michael G. Wilson and Barbara Broccoli said they were devastated by the news. In a varied career, Connery played James Bond 7 times, starting with Dr. No in 1962. His portrayal defined the secret agent for a generation of fans. He also had major roles in films including Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade, Highlander, and The Hunt for Red October. Berlin's new airport, BER, welcomed its first passengers today after years of delay that has become a source of embarrassment for the German capital. An EasyJet flight brought the first passengers to the new terminal, whose opening is 9 years behind schedule. The airport, known by its 3-letter code, BER, is intended to overhaul the city's aging air transport infrastructure, though its budget roughly tripled to €5.96 billion before its opening. Questions have also been raised about how well it will do financially, opening aimed a pandemic that has drastically suppressed air travel. This is the Sultan of Oman Television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The total volume of foreign and direct investment in the Sultanate exceeds 15.64 billion Omani Riyals until the end of the first quarter of 2020. The death toll reaches 30 in quake-hit Turkey and Greek islands. And the novel coronavirus killed at least 1.19 million people since the outbreak emerged in China last December. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studio, it's good night.